Good afternoon. It is Thursday, October 24th. And it's been a wild, wild week, as we know, not just for New York sports, but in sports as general. But we're going to really dial in on our New York sports. So, starting off, it's Thursday, which means tomorrow the New York Yankees start their quest on bringing number 28 back into the Bronx. Look, I was reviewing the season series of what happened when we played the Dodgers. And I'm just going to say, I think we got a chance. Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out before anybody goes, they have Otani and they have all these powerful hitters. Look, all right, we get it. The first game, Friday, June 7th, went into extra innings and we lost a 2-1 game. That game could have gone up in the air. It could have. Hold on, as I just get the stats up here. Okay, so yeah. Game could have gone really up in the air. Yeah, they had Glasnow pitching well. They had Stone pitching well. Yeah, the Dodgers had a great pitching game. But overall, like the Yankees can give them a run. I feel like they can give them a run for their money. I really don't think. I mean, is Shohei going to be a problem? Yes. That whole entire lineup, though, is dangerous. 1 through 9, arguably 1 through 8, but like it's the playoffs. You really never know. Um, the Yankees are just gonna have the pitching's got to be amazing. Weaver, there's gonna be a lot on Weaver. Clay, there's got to be a lot on Clay. Bro, Clay. I don't want to be that New Yorker, but Clay hasn't been performing how we want him to. Garrett Cole has to be our ace. If we want to secure a World Series, he has to be our ace. And I'm just not saying that. Just to start off, like we need pitching from inning 1 to the very last out. Like it has to be like a very well. It's a game of chess. This World Series is going to be a game of chess, depending on what the bullpens do. If the Yankees bullpen can be the bullpen they've been all year, I think we'll put up a strong fight, especially throughout that Dodgers lineup. However, the Yankees can also beat themselves in this situation. The Yankees have not been hitting well, especially their stars. Judge is slowly. I think he's slowly coming out of a hump. A bit of a dry spell, but overall, Soto's been knocking the ball deep. Stanton's been being playoff Stanton, which is nice. Volpe's been running the bags well. Gleyber Torres, he's come up huge in this playoff. People don't think so, but if you see the games and see how Gleyber's been playing, he's been had some clutch hits and some clutch moments. Volpe's been having some good at bats. I do think if Verdugo, if he could just get on base and just be clutch, he'll serve his role. Chisholm's gonna come up huge. I have a feeling Chisholm's gonna clutch up. I think if the Yankees it's 3 simple things. If the Yankees win the bullpen battle, if the Yankees don't chase, because they chase a lot of pitches outside, a lot of hangers that go outside of the zone, a lot of sliders that go out of the zone, especially for the big hitters, Judge and Stan, they always chase a slider. If they just sit back and wait for the right pitch, they'll be fine. If they run the bags well, which the Yankees struggle doing, if they run the bases well, they'll be fine. And if we win the bullpen battle, we'll be fine. We'll put up a fight. That's all I ask. I don't care if they win or lose. I am more than content with the Yankees this year. If they just put up a fight, maybe 6, 7 games, I'll be happy. But overall, it is the World Series. You never know what's going to happen. It's playoff baseball. It's October baseball. We really don't know what could happen, which is the beauty of it. But honestly, at the same time, would I love the Yankees to bring one back? Absolutely. I'm not as a Yankee fan myself. I'm not going to sit and watch every baseball game. Like I know a couple guys that watch all 162 regular season games. Honestly, I'm not that guy. But I've been following the playoffs and I'm excited. I really hope they bring it back. And yeah, tomorrow's really going to tell. Tomorrow 8:08 and yeah. So, off the diamond over to Brooklyn. over to the NBA. The Brooklyn Nets. All right, they lost their season opener in Atlanta. Um, yeah, they put up a fight. I guess you could say they put up a fight. Not really. They only won the second quarter. They lost 3 out of the 4. Cam Thomas, 36 points. Like I said, he was gonna go off. Shot 14 for 27 though, so it varies. He only had one free throw. I don't know why he's not going to the charity stripe, but yeah, overall, oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I did not watch this game. I watched all the primetime games on ESPN. Um, Dorian Finney Smith played for 30 minutes, shot 30%, and it got only 8 points. That is to be a starting point guard doing that. You can't be having that in the NBA. You have Cam Johnson, bro. Cam Johnson, 40%, 14 points. Dennis Schroeder, really 13 points, 34 minutes. I don't know how that Ben Simmons at least stepped on the court, but for 24 minutes, you put up 6 points. I don't care how the team plays. I don't care what has to go into them winning a game. This needs to be better because you have Cam Thomas going 34 minutes, 36 points. That's great. Hear me out. 3 assists. I don't know if they're playing ISO ball. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish with the ISO ball. It's clearly not working. I mean, Ben Simmons was distributing the ball. He got 8 assists. Dennis Schroeder being a point guard, he got 7. The ISO ball is not working. Either they got to lock in on a defense and run scheme or just r- move the ball. Like this was with Jalen Wilson. He got 16 points and 50% of those points came from the free throw line. If he shot 8 from the free throw line, he shot 8 for 8. Perfect. The bench has a better plus minus than the starting lineup. I don't know how I don't know how that like that's not going to win you a basketball game. And the fact that the plus minuses look like this and they only lost by 4, beyond me. Wilson off the bench, +4. Williams off the bench, +5. All right, Clowney -10. I don't know what he was doing, but Nicholas Claxton. I said he was gonna be great. He was gonna be fine for the Nets. He's a +7, plus minus. Shake Milton. All right, he played 6 minutes, but he's +8. 6 minutes, you're a +8. That's huge, and it might be garbage time, or it might just be injury flow. Doesn't matter. 6 minutes +8 is huge. I think if the Nets, maybe they're just trying to get Ben back into it. Maybe they're trying to see what they're going to get with Schroeder. Maybe they're going to see what they can get with Finney Smith. Maybe we know what Cam Thomas can do. We've seen it at the little later end of last year, what he can produce. If the Nets do pick things up, they might even squeak in the number 6 seed in the playoffs if they pick things up. However, I don't. This could be a late playing team, maybe the 9-10 seed if they are lucky, because this is a good roster. Is it going to go deep in the playoffs? No. I think if they're lucky, they'll force 6 games. But overall, it's not. It's not anything big. I really don't. I really don't see anything big out of the Nets. But yeah, the team's good. The production, not so much. But I think if the Nets get over this hump and figure out what they're going to do, getting Ben and Schroeder more involved around Cam Thomas, I think the Nets are going to be fine and have that little big 3 going on in Brooklyn. But we're going to hop over the bridge right now, go over to Manhattan. The New York Knicks took a beat. All right. I don't want to phrase it like that. But if it wasn't, all right, it was 30. All right, they lost 132 to 109. There were some stretches in the game where they could have come back. They lost by 23. So people are going to view it as a beating, but there were points in the game where the Knicks could have come back. But no, there's no sugarcoating it though. This was a beating. Jason Tatum just absolutely did his thing. Jason Tatum put up an argument on why he should have won Finals MVP in that one game. And it was the ring night. It was ring night, so yes, the Celtics felt nice. They got a chip on their shoulder. It was all smiles in Boston, but overall, like, this was bad. Um Jalen Brunson, he got 22 last game. He got 1 rebound, 2 assists. Really nothing spectacular besides the points. Miles McBride, I, I I've been saying this from the get about this Knicks roster. If there's anybody that means more to the New York Knicks besides Jalen Brunson and that core, it is Deuce. And by core, I mean Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and McCalbridge. That's the Knicks core to me right now. Carl Anthony Towns, yes, he's great. He's a great center. Didn't really see that much. He only got 12 last game. Okay. But overall, I think they're comfortable at the guard spot. I think they should start relying more on their guard play, and that starts with Deuce. Miles McBride, hear me, 26 minutes, drops 22 points. Like, I don't know what you really can't ask for much. He shot 80% from the field. He shot 80% from three. And overall, he missed, all right. He shot 66% from the free throw line. That's okay. But overall, he only shot 80% from the field and dropped 22 points. Jalen Brunson shot 64%. Like, that's what I'm saying. He plays 26 minutes, felt like a bucket, hit that clutch and one in Boston. Like, look, I understand Jalen Brunson and I understand what he's capable of. I like him, but I'm just saying we can rely more on the small ball. Take the load off of Jalen for a little bit. Just split the workload. Because overall in the playoffs, that Knicks team full of injuries, completely injured, but that whole roster was injury prone by the end of the second round of the playoffs. And overall, I think a healthy Knicks team last year would have beat the Pacers. But overall, just look, the guard play is great. OG Anunoby can play for a long period of time. Josh Hart. I know Tibbs' style. Hey, we're gonna keep pushing. We're gonna push guys. Stamina's gonna be high. Like if you can handle it, you're gonna handle it, and if you can't, you're gonna sit and we're gonna find somebody that can handle it. Overall, I think as the next season progresses, Jalen Brunson's gonna be Jalen Brunson. Deuce McBride might actually have more of a responsible role, but overall, it was just mid. It was look, the game wasn't if you were a Knicks fan watching it, it wasn't that the Knicks lost to the Celtics. It was the Celtics beating the Knicks because the Knicks played overall a great game of basketball. The problem they really got outshot from three. The amount of 3-pointers the Celtics hit was insurmountable. It was insane. But if you saw the Knicks and how they played, they were really forcing the ball down low. They're really picking apart the Celtics defense. But overall, it's going to be frustrating when the Knicks were rotating on defense too. That's what the frustrating part. If you saw the Knicks rotation, they were matching on rotations perfectly. They were moving with the ball. It's frustrating when you rotate on defense and you get the closeout, you get a tough closeout, and the ball just goes in for the opponent. It's going to be tough. It's going to be it's going to be hard, but overall, I just think don't look at the season and be like, "Oh gosh, the Celtics are dangerous," because anybody can have that night. Anybody can have the night the Celtics had. And yes, they play with a chip, but overall, watching the Knicks play, it's not end all be all. It was a completely new roster with a completely new dynamic. They lost two huge pieces in Randall and DiVincenzo and still played a great game. So overall, I would be looking kind of forward to the New York Knicks and what they can produce for the rest of the season. But overall, they took a beating their opener. It's just gonna have to get better, and we're gonna pray that Jalen's gonna take more responsibility, as we hope he would. But yeah, the Knicks do play tomorrow at 7:30. I highly doubt you guys are gonna watch that, considering the World Series is gonna start tomorrow. But they play the Cavaliers, a team they should beat. No, they play the I'm sorry, they play the Pacers. The Knicks are going. The Knicks are playing high playoff energy games at the moment. However, the Knicks are projected to win this one according to ESPN. But yeah, overall, the Celtics are 1-0. They're third in the East, but the season just started, so none of these stats matter being 1-0, 0-1. Um yeah. So that's it for the Knicks. The game is it's the home opener at the Garden too. So New York is going to be electric. As considering it's the first home game of the year and the Pacers are coming into the Garden, New York's going to go absolutely insane. All right, that's it for New York hoops right now. New York hoops, the Nets they didn't take a beating. They lost by 4, considering the roster they had. It was a pretty good fight. The Knicks, look, they didn't get the result they wanted, but they played a great game of basketball. The shots were just falling for the Celtics, and overall, I just think it's got to be better. It really does. The defense has to be a bit more responsible. Cat was taking off some plays. Jalen Brown got a steal, and McCall just wasn't hustling back on defense. Just give us just put in the work, and we'll appreciate you. You could look. We know basketball. We're New York. We know basketball. If you just put in the work, it's not going to be that. Like we know we hate losing. We're going to bash on you for losing, but at least we're not going to we're going to bash on you, but we're not going to disrespect you completely. But yeah, off to the sheet. Heading to UBS. We're gonna head and talk about the Islanders. Yeah, the Islanders. All right. It doesn't look good. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It doesn't look good. 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 overtime losses, and they have 6 points overall. They're a great team, and it shouldn't look like this. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. They are a great hockey team on paper. I don't know what's going on the ice. I guess what we see on paper is completely different from what we see. But they lost to Utah, covered that. They got shut out in Dallas, covered that. They beat the Avalanche 6-2, completely demolished them. Then they lost to the Blues in St. Louis by 1. They beat the Habs by a goal, 4-3. The Red Wings, they lost 1-0 on Frozen Frenzy. I get it. I completely get it. The Islanders are a team that play. If the Islanders lose a game, it's going to be by a goal. Utah 5-4. All right, that's unfortunate. Dallas is a powerhouse. They beat them 3-0. That's just one game though. The Avalanche, the Islanders can prove they can be an offensive team. They won 6-2. This is where I see the Islanders of old, the Islanders of 4 or 5 seasons ago coming back. They play the Blues. They lose 1-0. That's the Islanders. They play a close game. The Canadians, they beat them by a goal, 4-3. That's the Islanders. They play a lot of close games. The Red Wings in the UBS, they come into UBS, and the Isles get shut out. That's what disappoints me as a hockey fan. If I go to a game and my team can't even score on their own home ice, I'm going to consider it a failure of a night. You could have played a great hockey game. If you can't score on your own home ice, to me, that's just pathetic. And I understand there's going to be some nights like that. But overall, if you're going to be a good team, you have to capitalize when you're at home. You have to. Or else, what are you going to accomplish if you can't capitalize at home? And then they play the Devils tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Look, I highly doubt anybody's going to be watching these games, considering that the World Series is going to come on at 8 o'clock. But yeah, it's just frustrating. Even Anders Lee said it in the post game press conference. It's frustrating considering that he knows that they played a great game. And yeah, it's a 1-goal game, so obviously you played. I'm not gonna say you played great. You didn't win the game. I'm gonna say you played well. You only gave up 1 goal. And those 2 goals were, the goals were produced, former Rangers, Vladimir Tarasenko and Patrick Kane. Just want to put it out there as a Rangers guy. But I like this. Some of the Rangers fans will disagree. I do like this Islanders team, and I hope they succeed. I really hope they do. They got Matthew Barzal. Well respect. I respect him. great guy, great hockey player. Casey Cizikas, Liam Foudy, Bo Horvat, who's paired well with Barzal. They have Kyle McLean. They have Brock Nelson, who by far is my favorite player on this Islanders roster. Brocktober, hopefully he kicks in a gear. It's a bit of the end of October, but they really need something right now. Maybe Brocktober, a little bit of, you know, Nelson, Brock Nelson November. I don't know. They need something. I just think they need more out of Brock Nelson. We've seen him shoot the puck. He can really find the laces of the net, but overall, we need something out of Brock Nelson. JG Pajot, I'm not really a big fan, but he's decent. And Kyle Palmieri, like I'm not a big fan, but I respect the guy. You know what I mean? Like they have great center. They have great forward play. They have great center. Anders Lee and Anthony Duclair. Unfortunately, Duclair is going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. Hopefully, they can find a replacement. But yeah, so I like the new right winger they got. Maxim Tsiplikov. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. It's Russian. Tsiplikov. He's 26. He's beginning his prime. He's beginning to prime. He's 6'2", 190 pounds, and he's a lefty from Moscow, Russia. He looks really good. Out of the games the Islanders played, he has a goal, 2 assists, 3 points, and he's -1. But he scored a clutch goal to give the Isles a lead. Unfortunately, against Utah. Unfortunately, we know if you watched the game, you know how it ended. Um, but yeah, he has a goal. He's played 6 games. He has a goal, 2 assists, -1 plus minus. He has 6 penalty minutes, which I mean the game, 6 games, 6 minutes. That's a penalty every other game. And his time on ice is 34 minutes. Right, he's averaging a time on ice of 34 right now. That is huge. That is huge. And like if you've seen him play, he doesn't produce that much, but just watching him with the puck and what he can produce, you can tell, wow, that guy's a problem if we leave him open. I don't know, like they just have so much talent on this team. Like they look better. They look better than last year. Last year they were a good team, and they look better than last year. They, they should be in a. They should be not all right. Not an amazing team. They should be a great team. But yeah, it's still early in the year. I guess you can say they're trying to just find their balance, find the weight under them. The defensive core is still decent. Noah Dobson, Scott Mayfield, Pellick, Pulla, Riley Romanov. This is a great defensive core, and then they have Sorokin, who is a Vezina candidate, in my opinion, and they have Varlamov, who took them to 2 Eastern Conference Finals. I'm telling you, I think the Islanders can make a playoff push if they just figure out what's been going on. But it's still early. I don't know what the playoff picture looks like. I mean, apparent it's way too early to consider it a failure of a year. But however, these early games are where you're gonna have to capitalize on getting those playoff points. But yeah, they're fifth in the Metro right now. Um, and hopefully they just figure it out. They have to battle through this bump in the road because Duclair's out for 4 to 6. But yeah, hopefully they lock in, get everything they got to figured out, and yeah. Their next game, like I said, it is tomorrow, 10:25 at 7 o'clock against the Devils. I don't know what to say. This team just looks good to be performing the way they've been performing. Can't lose close games when you have a team. When you're captain, when Anders Lee is on the third line and you're losing games by a goal, those can't happen. I'm sorry. If Anders Lee went from a guy that was on the first line to now being on the third line, given that you have twice as much more production than you used to have, you guys should be winning games by 2 to 3 goals. Like at least 2 to 3 goals, and then give it. You guys, considering that you guys are the Islanders, and we've seen the defense you guys can play. You guys should probably be giving up a goal too if the opponent is lucky. Like I don't know. I don't know. The Islanders should be winning games by 2 to 3 goals, giving up at least 1 to 2 goals. That's my opinion. Islanders fans chip in. I'm with you guys. I hope you guys succeed this season. I hope you got. I mean, not that much. Y'all are gonna lose. Y'all are gonna lose to my Rangers. Not trying to sound biased, but let's hop over to the Garden because statistically, come on, the Rangers are buzzing right now. They went 5-0-1. 5-0-1 in their last 6. And they're cooking and they are number 1. That's a playoff spot. Number 1 in the Metro Division right now. All right, they demolished Pittsburgh. We covered that 6-0. They lost to Utah in overtime. Boo hoo! It's unfortunate. They got the playoff point. The Red Wings beat them 4-1. Red Wings again beat them 5-2. That's +6 on the plus minus. That's +3 in Toronto. We beat them 4-1. +3 on the plus minus. +9, and then we beat the Canadiens 7-2 in Montreal. We're buzzing. We're buzzing and we're back. I can't be any more hype and excited, but yet again, I'm not hype and excited. Because given that I've seen this team for the past 5 seasons, I know what they're capable of. They will make a playoff push. They will make a playoff run. I look, will the Rangers make the playoffs? From what I'm seeing, yes. Like I can't be any more excited. They do play tonight. They play the Panthers tonight. Hopefully they get some playoff revenge. But I think overall, I'm not excited. Like I kind of expected this, not gonna lie, from the New York Rangers, given that you have Panarin and Kreider and Mika and all these other guys. You got Ketel back. I guess that's the one thing I'm looking forward to. Philip Ketel being back, being able to produce. Like Philip Ketel, 6 games, 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points in 6 games. Like that's great. Panarin, on the other hand, 6 goals in 6 games. That's a goal a game, guaranteed. He's a guaranteed goal, basically, on average. I wouldn't say he's guaranteed goal, but like if we were doing the math, that's a goal a game, assists a little over 1 point. The assists per game and a goal per game. That's 2 points per game. He has a +4 plus minus with 2 penalty minutes. Look, Vinny Trocheck, great. Adam Fox, 7 points in 6 games with 7 assists. Great. Will Cooley, 6 points in 6 games. Great. Riley Smith, 6 points in 6 games. If the Rangers get this type of production, especially from Jacob Trouba, who's had 4 assists in 6 games, which that shocks me the most. Man, Victor Mancini, rookie, 0.5 points per game. Like he has 3 points in 6 games. Like, come on. Like, it's production like this that just gets me excited for the playoffs. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm like not that excited, given that I've seen what this team is capable of. If we look back at last season, this team, the production declined in the playoffs, and I get it. It's the playoffs. Teams are a bit more chippy, a bit more productive, a bit, and overall, overall, I believe that overall, I believe that if the defensive core, I'm okay. I'm satisfied with the offense. The offense is great, but if the defensive core can just be the defensive core, then I'll be excited. I'll be shouting from the rooftops. We're winning the Stanley Cup. We're going all the way. It's going to be an amazing year. The Cup's coming back to Madison Ave, but overall, I'm really not excited. I mean, the defense has been playing well, I guess, but we can't be relying on Igor anymore in the playoffs. And I think that's why he thinks he can get his money's worth because he knows what he can do in the playoffs. It's a contract year for him. I guess if he puts up the numbers, they'll pay him. He declined 11.5. If we shouldn't pay him more than 12.5, but overall, yeah. This Rangers team, look, I'm not that excited. Am I excited? Am I happy they're doing well? The Rangers are my number 1 team in New York. Considering that they are buzzing like this, I'm happy. I'm good for them. I'm gonna be watching the Rangers game tonight, 100%. but I'm not excited unless a cup is in the Garden. I've seen this team prove everybody wrong from COVID, saying, yeah, they're not going to produce well, to Panarin breaking out in the bubble season, to going to the Eastern Conference Finals, to then having a rough bump against the Devils for some reason, and then being so close again, and then losing to a team like Florida, who only has one productive line. If I'm not gonna be, I'm gonna be completely honest. If I'm the Rangers, I'm sick and tired of just going to the playoffs and losing. If I'm the Rangers, I'm not even looking forward to the regular season. If I'm the Rangers, I'm looking to take care of business for 82 games, get home ice, and just win 16 straight games just to shut up everybody. Because everybody doubts the Rangers. Yeah, they're a playoff lock. They're going to go deep, but they're really not going to bring it home. Look, I don't know what people have against the New York Rangers. We're fun, entertaining, and we win. We win games and we score goals. We score goals. The puck's not in our net ever, and we win games. So the fact that people have a problem with the Rangers, but overall don't watch and actually analyze the team itself, disappoints me. Do they choke in the playoffs sometimes? There's a couple questionable plays that people make in the playoffs. For some reason, it's got to be a New York athlete in the playoffs. But I've said this the first episode of Playbook. If the Rangers don't go to Stanley Cup final, I'm going to consider it a failure of a year. They have a great Panarin, Hart nominee, Adam Fox, by far a Norris Trophy nominee. I don't know why he's been getting snubbed for the past couple seasons. He's been carried the New York defense on its back. Alexis Lafreniere breaking out. Chris Kreider projected to score 50 again. Keto back on a tear. Kako back with 5 points in 6 games. Brendan Schneider with 3 points in 6 games. Like, he hasn't produced this early in a season. Ryan Lindgren came back for a game, played solid defense. That's exactly what we need out of him. Like, the New York Rangers should be Stanley Cup champions already. Unfortunately, we've seen what happened the past 2 years. I think this year they're not playing around. They're really not playing around. I think they're trying to make that point bright and early that, hey, we mean business and we're taking Stanley back to the Garden, whether you think we can or if you doubt us. And I hope they do. But yeah, that's all the New York sports I have for now. Mainly because football is boring. Football is really boring in New York. I don't know what's going on with the Giants and the Jets. Like, really? That's football? It's not football. It's pathetic. They're 2-5. The Giants are 2-5. And I get it. You don't have that much weapons, and it's stressful. But you let Joe Burrow run for 40 on you. And then you let Saquon you let Saquon come into MetLife and just go on a tear. And I get it. The Giants are not the Giants. And I get it. The Giants offense isn't that dangerous. I think Daniel Jones is a problem, is the reason why they're not that dangerous. But overall, if you watch the Giants games, there's no if you watch both football teams play, the Jets and the Giants, there's no discipline to even be on the field right now. They're collecting a paycheck and they're going home. And it disgusts me. The fact that the New York Jets have Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Tyler Conklin, Jeremy Ruckert, the backfield threats like Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. This team should be the complete. They should be 6-1 at least. They're 2-5 right now. The New York Jets. I didn't really want to talk about football. I tried to stay away from football. You can ask everybody I know. I'm extremely ticked off about it. I'm getting a headache right now, even on the mic, just even referring to the Jets. I don't know. I don't know. They got the Patriots on the 27th. Hopefully they can squeeze out a win. They beat them before. It's one of 2 wins they have. Boo-hoo. And then the Giants play the Steelers, who just gave the Jets an absolute run for their money last primetime game. So, yeah, we're going to end. Unfortunately, I'm sorry we got to end on a sad note talking about, the pathetic pathetic football franchises here in New York. Unfortunately, the Jets and the Giants are not performing. But who is performing are the Yankees tomorrow in the World Series. Tune in, check it out. The Rangers are on tonight. And yeah, that's realistically it. Oh, and do not forget the New York Islanders. Sorry, I tend to forget about the Islanders. Sorry. The Islanders do play tomorrow at 7, but the Yankees are on tomorrow, World Series, and the New York Rangers are on tonight. Make sure to catch those games if you're watching. And yeah, have a good rest of the day.